Earlier today, over on Twitter, we got the announcement that Solo Leveling Arise is on the way. So we are going to be covering Solo Leveling Arise a ton. And for you guys watching the channel, I did also create a separate channel that I would love for you guys to help me get to 1,000 subscribers on. That is linked down below, where I'll be also posting Solo Leveling Arise content, but more unfiltered, probably more content in general for the game there. It's going to pop up here every now and again, so obviously subscribe if you're new. And yeah, so be sure to subscribe to that other channel as well. So point is, it's going to be on both channels. All right. Solo Leveling Arise, Solo Leveling Reborn as an action RPG. Early access will be launching in Canada soon. Follow our pages for the latest updates. And they do link over to their, I assume, YouTube and their official website. So again, this is the Solo Leveling page over on Twitter, the official one, not a news page or anything like that. No hate on them. And I'm just saying that this is confirmed information. And so the first thing I want to say is I am unbelievably excited. So the anime got me into the series. I had heard about it. I had seen people talk about how cool it is, things like that, particularly when it was still an ongoing series a couple of years ago. And I assume that there's an epilogue that came out recently. I have not read that yet, but the anime got me into the series, and I am now at the point where I finished the main story and I'm about to start the epilogue. And so I am so damn ready to get started with this series. If you haven't watched the anime though, at least, man, okay, so like just like most of the animes, the first couple episodes are kind of slow, but goddamn, bro, this series is heat, man. So I'm excited. The point is I'm excited for this, and I'm going to be going hard on it. But I just got to say the whole soft launch thing that these games do, I understand it, but god dang does it suck, bro. It sucks so bad. So if you don't know what this means, it means unless you live in Canada, you're going to probably have to jump through a couple of hoops to get the game. So let's back up a little bit. I'm going to tell you what you need to know, and then when this officially comes out in Canada, at least, I will be playing, I'll be talking about it, and I'll give you the details then too. So I'm going to talk about how I assume this is going to go. So anyway, Solo Leveling Arise is a game that is coming out on mobile and PC, if you're wondering that. It is coming out worldwide by April. That had been our entire thought process. Everything we had known, all the reports recently have been saying that the game is getting a soft launch / open beta, this month. And we had been hearing that for a couple of months now. And that the game would be launching in April. Okay, so I assume that is still mostly the case. Now, this is early access, which means I'd assume that the servers are going to stay up. So when you hop on the Canadian game, it is going to stay up as your server that you're playing on, things like that. Now, that's pretty important because it depends. The games are kind of weird. Sometimes maybe you have limited functionality with other players between servers, but a lot of times there's no cross-server functionality. So keep that in mind, to the point where, like, if you start playing on the Canadian version because you want to start early, you want to play a little bit early, you probably are going to have to start over if you want to play on like the North American release, things like that, to maybe play with your friends. I'd assume this has a guild system because they're pretty popular in the series, right? So things like that, right? So keep that in mind. That is something to be concerned about. You know, other games that have done soft launches, like for example, I covered Legends a lot on the channel, obviously. They did a soft launch where it launched in other regions like the Philippines first, and it was there for like a week or something like that, and then it slowly trickled out other areas. But that all kind of turned into one big server at the end of the day. So, I mean, not really for PvP-based stuff. You still kind of get matched with people that are closest to you. But the rest of the game is open completely. So anyway, I'm not really sure to what extent this game will be. To really know that answer, you'd have to play and interact with more Netmarble games. And unfortunately, I stopped playing 7 Deadly Sins a long time ago. So any of you vets probably can answer that. So that, it sucks. The reason they do that is so they don't get their servers blown up when they drop the game worldwide. And I don't know if this is supposed to be an open beta. They say early access. They don't say open beta. I feel like if it's an open beta, they would say that, which also means they're not going to have an open beta for this game. And we had been hearing that there would be an open beta for this. But I guess soft launch, open beta, it's kind of like closely the same thing, but it isn't exactly, because the difference is your accounts, right? So what's going to happen is if this is an actual early access, these players on the Canadian server are going to get access to the game, obviously, earlier. They're going to be built up. And so for me, I will be playing on that server, and I'll probably start a second account or start over. I'm not sure. But as a content creator, it would be very nice to have that little cushion there for however long it is. So again, it says coming this spring, so it's coming sometime really soon. So the official website here doesn't look like there's any other news here besides that. So, all right. So the question is then going to be, how are we going to get the game? So the funny thing about this is I don't believe they've even started like pre-registration rewards or anything like that. It's so weird because they went radio silent on this game for like over a year, and didn't say damn near anything about it until the anime started. Then they started ramping up promotion because they wanted to drop alongside the anime, which is pretty standard, pretty normal, particularly for a popular IP like this one. So it's just kind of weird they went radio silent, but it doesn't seem like they've started pre-registration bonuses. They've just been doing, as far as I can tell anyway, they've been doing those giveaways over here that are supposed to correlate to other in-game stuff. By the way, they have an original character because Netmarble loves doing original characters. How do you feel about original characters in games? I always thought when I was playing Seven Deadly Sins, I always thought the original characters were cool, but I didn't realize how many people actually hate them. Like if I open this replies and the quotes for this tweet, people hate the original characters. I didn't realize that. So how do you feel about them? Maybe it's because the Seven Deadly Sins game has like what, 7 of them? Oh god dang. So the question is, where are you gonna get the game? So sites like TapTap, QApp, things like that. This is the web page, but you'd obviously download the QApp, QOOAPP, on your phone, or TapTap, literally spelt how it sounds. You download those apps on your phone or your tablet or whatever, and then from there you would be able to get started with the game. So keep that in mind. When it comes to that, that is one of the options that you guys will have, unless you live in Canada, which you're just going to be set because it's just going to be on your regular Play Store. What's going to happen is, for everyone else, if you're not in Canada, it's going to say that it's not available in your region. So another thing that's going to happen is, okay, if you want to download it through official channels like the Play Store or like the iOS Apple Store, if you wanted to do that, you're outside of Canada, you may be able to create. Okay, so iOS is a little bit different because I'm pretty sure you can log in there and change your region and it doesn't matter. You don't got to do all these jumping through hoops crap that you have to do on Android, which is pretty funny considering the topic between both platforms being that one's more free than the other. I digress. So I'm pretty sure on that you don't have to do that. You can just change your region to that. But I'm not sure if it will release at the same time in Canada on iOS as well. I'm not really sure what the plan with that would be. I assume, but I don't know. On Android, it's kind of a little bit tricky. If you wanted to download it on Google, again, I'll cover this more when the game officially comes out. You would, unless you're inside of Canada, I'm pretty sure you have to log out of your current Play Store account, turn on the VPN, and then either change your current one or create a new one in said region that you would want to be in. And in this case, it would be Canada. And then while the VPN's on, download the game and you'd be good. You should be able to turn it off. Now, another thing that can wind up happening is if you download the game that way, like I just explained, and you turn off your VPN, or if you download it somewhere else like QApp or TapTap or whatever, where you just download the APK online. One thing that happens a lot is you'll probably also wind up needing a VPN anyway. Now, you can use pretty much any VPN. Well, to be fair, some of them don't ping your location a certain way. Like, for example, with Phantom Parade for JJK, it's kind of tricky. You need certain VPNs. Some of them work, some of them don't. Like, even like high popularity ones, like I don't think Nord worked for me on that game, things like that. But one that does work that I like a lot is Gambit. That's why I pulled this up. So if you need a VPN, Gambit VPN is one that I would recommend. There's a lot of them that work, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, what's going to probably, like I said, wind up happening is if you download the APK, just standard through QApp or whatever, just downloading it online, whatever, and you get it that way, there may be a chance that when you try to log in, it's region locked. So it's not going to let you into the server because you're not in Canada, so you would need a VPN, and that would be something you would need every time you try to log in to play the game, and that's also part of the reason why you probably would just wind up starting over. So, I like I said, I'm going to cover it more when this comes out. Subscribe if you're new, all that fun stuff. But I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think.